Hey everyone, welcome to another Diablo 2 Resurrected build guide video. This time around it's the Whirlwind Assassin. Yes, you heard that right. Why not combining one of the best Barb builds with the best class in the game, right? Honestly, technically speaking, the Assassin is even the better choice for Whirlwind because we can reach the 5th and last frame for it. The Barbarian is not able to do that, let that sink in. Some of you might know the build from PvP, back in the days as Spider Sin or Ghost Assassin. There are a lot of terms for it. In Diablo 2 Resurrected, however, they did change the Whirlwind skill, which makes this PvP exclusive build pretty viable in PvM now. I only used it for player versus monster content because I don't play PvP in Diablo 2 at all and I destroyed pretty much everything with it. Yeah, I thought I'd share my setup break quick with you guys, so you can rebuild an insane Whirlwind Assassin if you wanted to. All you need is a runeword called CHAOS made in a claw, which costs less than a coil to arms to make. Also, a reason why I like this build so much is, if you would have a player's 8 lobby full of Whirlwind Assassins, everyone would run a slightly different setup, and that's something you usually don't see in Diablo 2. Before we start with anything, I wanted to mention real quick, it's a disclaimer, okay, it's a fair warning. In order to play this build, you actually need a source of gold income in the game. In order to play this build, you need to go to Barb. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Like the Trevi Horker Barb you enjoyed so much. Fun fact, I made that Barb because of this build. The claws break all the time. When I say all the time, I mean all the time. 3 to 4 chaos runs max. Players 1. And you gotta full repair both claws. Yes, I had a lot of odd runes. I eventually ran out of odd runes and then I needed gold. You cannot make these, the rune words that do not give indestructible mod or whatsoever. So you can only make the rune word in a non-ethereal weapon. I mean, would you play a Barbarian with a non-eth weapon? Think about it, right? So that's the huge downside of this build, and that's what you gotta keep in mind going forward into this video. Let's talk about the gear and the skill tree and all the good stuff here for a second. I'm super excited for this one. Also, please make use of the timestamps in the description below. The most important part, chaos. We need access to the Whirlwind skill somehow. That's the perfect opportunity for me to explain you the change in Resurrected. Back in OG Diablo, if you would play this build, it was absolutely trash in regular PvM, in players versus monster. People only use this in PvP because in OG Diablo, you started with minus damage. That's gone in Resurrected, okay? So you equip this, boom, Whirlwind hits like a truck. Even it says only level 1. It scales with all the offensive stats, like Crushing Blow and so on. And also with plus skills. So, as you can see, it says 65% right now. Let's take off... let's take off High Lords. Has 1 skill. Now it says 60. Okay, so that's the way you can bring up the damage. Other than the Whirlwind skill, you can print whatever stats you want on here, depending on what base you use, right? You can have a more melee-oriented setup. You can have different trap. You could compare this with fire traps. Like, that's all up to you. All you need is this weapon, and everything else can cost from a pull rune up to Enigma level. So that's kind of crazy in itself. As a second claw, my choice is Plague. I have a timestamp for Insane Claw Collection. I use Plague. I tested a lot of claws. I probably tested more than 20 different setups. I made several chaos as well as several plagues and so on and so on. But yeah, I settled with this. It's a 5 to lightning sentry plague right there. Also, like the cleansing aura is so good. Also, since it's a melee character, the lower resist when struck, which means especially when I get hit, is procs almost always, so I have a low resist. If Infinity on the Mercenary, like, the build is bonkers, dude. I'm using Shadow Dancer as the boots here for the shadow skills. That will make more sense in the skill tree in a second. I switch boots all the time. Another good pair of boots is, in my opinion, War Traveler. Not only for the magic fight, but for the flat damage. I figured, honestly, I like the damage from War Traveler more than from Gore Rider on this build. Sounds crazy, but if you can, test both boots. Of course, no spin to win build will properly work without the Source of Dual Leech. So I have this ring here. I have Arak here because I want to teleport a little bit faster in the offhand. pretty much every unique belt is viable here. And the belts you can craft as well. You see what I'm saying, but I use this. Ravenfrost for the CBF, of course, nice damage and attack rating. Also, like, the dex helps with the requirements from the claws. Claws require sometimes a lot of dex, depending on the base. I'll show you a different pair claws later. They need like 120 or something, so it gets pretty ridiculous. The gloves here, 350 damage to demons and attack speed. Holy Bolt on striking and on striking in general does not work with Whirlwind. So every on striking you see is useless. That's why I also don't wear Dracouls. Even though Dracouls are still good for the build, for all the other mods. But yeah, on striking does not work. Wanted that to mention real quick. Offhand, of course, CDA buff up. My inventory here, Torch and Any, of course. Pretty much melee, small charm oriented setup here. I stole a lot of these from my Barbarian. My inventory might seem all over the place, but I like it that way, okay? So I have 2 max damage attack rating life grand jumps here. 2 trap skiller. This one's really nice for the build. 1 traps, 3 max damage. And I have 2 shadow skiller. Because yeah, shadow skiller are pretty... Usually they are garbage. People will sell this to Akara. I think this might be the only build in the game which makes use out of shadow skiller. Also, what you could do is, you committed to like, if you went like with a budget route, you could play this in the total budget would be totally fine. It would be totally fine. Chaos Claw and like Treasury instead of Enigma. The G-Face Helm cost nothing. Get Angelic combo and so on. The usual suspects, right? They one setup and the Chaos Claw. And get a whole inventory full of Shadow Skiller. So that would be one hell of a cheap setup and it would be viable. And you could, for fun, max out the Shadow Master then. When you have like a whole inventory full of skillers anyways, would be totally ridiculous. Usually this guy is useless, but totally buffed up, like a level 30 something, 35 Shadow Master, holy moly. He has better stats than the character. My Mercenary, little fun setup I threw together, okay. Dream and Infinity. This has a Holy Shock aura, this has almost minus 50 pierce, so this aura actually deals damage, question mark. Yeah, of course, I switch this to Andaria sometimes, or I have a nice ethereal ramp gaze. I use Bramble here for armor, so I get Thorn's aura. It's just a little bit of extra damage when I'm just whirling around, right? Passive damage in form of an aura, why not? Yeah, that's my preferred setup. After testing this build for a while, like I have this build since season 3. I think I made it when they made the change. Also, let's talk about the stats here for a second. Because I mentioned a Whirlwind frame in the intro. It gets a little bit rocket science at this point, not gonna lie. Also, obviously, I'm not a rocket scientist in D2, okay? So it depends a little bit on your claws, but as a rule of thumb, that's what I know from back in the day, right? As a rule of thumb, you should have between 60 and around 80 attack speed, all combined on your gear. That's without burst of speed. 60 to 80. And then you should be in the last frame, in the fastest whirling frame. Okay? But it depends a little bit on your claws. It's I have 90 IS without burst of speed. I should be fine. I should be fine. Other than that, of course, dual leech. Yeah, with War Travelers. I have around 150 magic find. Here some offensive stats, open wounds, crushing blow, deadly strike, minus enemy poison resistance, some nice attack rating, even though this is more a lightning sentry trap assassin setup, because I run the blessed aim on a aura on my mercenary on the setup, not the might aura. Now the skill tree, maxed out claw mastery. I have 1 point in weapon block, because this will max out at 56 or 55%. So depending on how many plus skills you have on your gear, you don't have to put more point than 1 in here in order to max this out, which is really, really good. Also, you will never ever reach max block with this, like with a shield. Forget about it. No 75% block with weapon block. But, and that's the kicker, you can block spells, bro. You can block while moving, okay? Usually, I know, that's kind of weird. Like, the game is 20 years old. I did not program this, but you can block while walking and you can block spells. That's ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. So usually you can only block if you walk or if you stand still. But with dual claw, or aka weapon block, that's different. I have 1 point in Venom. Only 1 here. Just to poison them a little bit. To maybe, yeah, if a monster is like life regenerating or whatever, to have a little something. And I have my remaining points into Fate. This is not maxed out yet. This is a very level hungry build and plus skill hungry build. So I would max this out eventually with level 96 or something. Yeah, nothing into martial arts because I have Enigma. Usually you should try to get a base with skills, Dragonflight, so you don't have to waste 4 points, okay? It's 4 points you can put into traps, for example. That's what I did here. So I maxed out all the synergies for Lightning Sentry. The change. Yeah, before I'm going to respec into the other variant, which I really enjoyed playing, I will show you some gameplay here now with the Whirlwind Trap Hybrid, if you will. Your blood will... Of course, it's just players 1, right? I did not test players 8 because I know it's not good in players 8. Okay, let's be real here. But yeah, it can clear players 8. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it requires crazy gear, okay? Just because I'm wearing Enigma and Infinity, this gear is nothing for the build, okay? This is really a noob Whirlwind setup, honestly. So yeah, it would require an insane amount of currency to get absolute perfect gear, like I don't even know. And then it wouldn't even be that worth, right? Like you can get a way better character with way less investment, with way less time and currency investment. Let's clear Trev run. Merc will probably die. He has no life leech. With Fate here. Yeah, Merc says bye-bye here. Life leech on the helm. Yeah, I mean, it's decent damage. It's decent damage. And as I said, you can customize however you like. Like this, I could play a Whirlwind Assassin every single season until the end of my life, and it would probably end up with a different setup every time. But I would need to make a gold fat Barbarian beforehand. So I respect, and now I have a more Whirlwind focused setup. I have Fury and Feral Claws here. Decent rune word. 66% open wounds. Plus skills are really nice on these bases, man. I was really lucky here. It has 3 to Venom, 1 to Dragonflight, and 3 to Death Sentry, so I don't have to skill those. Here I have 2 to Venom and 3 to Weapon Block. Still G-Phase, still High Lords. I have Gore Rider here. I Dual Reach Ring, Arc, because, I mean, I have T-Gods. I don't know, man. I think in terms of damage, like this 1 plus skill, actually a little bit more damage than the flat lightning damage from T-Gods and the strength and stuff. I might be wrong though. Ravenfrost and Ul, because yeah, it's like, yeah, I focused on Venom and on the poison damage here. So, and also when I teleport offhand, Ul is cool. I have the following skill tree: Max Claw Mastery, Max Fate, Max Venom, Max the Shadow Master, because I have some Shadow Skeleton inventory. 1 into weapon block to reach 54% block chance with 1 point into weapon block. The fuck? Yeah, nothing into here. This comes from the claw. And all my remaining points into Death Sentry. It's more, yeah, it's more focused on the Whirlwind itself. Also, really, really nice, since I spec so heavily into poison, also with plus skills and so on. Could totally use a Bramble here. It would be totally viable to use a Bramble on this character, or a Fortitude, or Chains of Honor, and so on. But in the end, you want to teleport, and strength means also damage, so that's not too bad. What's Terrazone right now? Need attack is Terrazone. Let's go. Let's go. Up. Teleport on F1. This is by no means the fastest teleport frame. Poison Thunder might be not a bad idea here. But yeah, I mean, my other setup, the setup I showed you before this, was really just my personal attempt to the build, okay? If I wanted to be a little bit more tryhard, I would spec into this, okay? And this can also clear more than player 3. Oh, they're about to leave. Rip. Yeah, well, this was a player's almost player's 8 Trev. I think the damage is okay-ish. I mean, it's maybe as a conclusion, okay? Maybe as a conclusion for this video and for the build. If you ask me, this is the most fun assassin build you can play. It's the most fun assassin build you can play, but repairing the claws every 2 minutes is hella annoying. Yeah, the build is next to... Like, you can't play this build unless you have a Goldfine Barb. To get the perfect gear or the right combination of items is next to impossible. Trading for the bases is a nightmare. But you get the most fun build in the game, if you ask me. And yeah, since it's now viable in PVM, like you can regular play D2. It's not only a PvP build anymore. I think it's cool. For me, this is final form unlocked. Okay, like if I'm able to afford an assassin setup like this, like GG, bro. Like what else? What else do we want more, right? Like let's say there's a season start. Like this perfect season journey would be like I start with an assassin, fire trapper, gather the gear for like cheap Uber setup, a few torches, maybe get lucky with the torches, trade 10 torches away, and respec into this maybe, right? But yeah, there's a million setups possible. Like if it was for me, I would make this video like 2 hours long and show you every gear I have, but can't do that, right? Nobody wants to watch that. Yeah, maybe for the end of the video, I can show you my little claw collection I have here. A best in slot claw for the offhand or for a second weapon slot or whatever. The second claw would be a rare claw. This is just an example, right? The claw is not good. It's not a bad claw, but not a best in slot claw. If it would be ethereal, at least I would put a slot rune in here and play this claw. No joke. In terms of rarity, just to get an idea, I pick up almost every other claw, unless I miss a white or a gray one. And I have around 6,000 hours in Resurrected by now. And this is the best claw I found. 6,000 hours in game. Okay, so these claws are rare. Also, you could use a Net's claw in the offhand. Like, there's a million possibilities. I have different chaos or different plus skill setups, right? Like, this was more my lightning sentry setup here. Plague is really good. Plague is really good. Now it's the wrong base for the build. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, maybe I should reroll this Fury and roll a Plague in there. Also, oh, these are more like bases for Mosaic. Yeah, I have a Mosaic here, right? Almost forgot about that. You could honestly just play one Mosaic. Or like, you don't do any combo point shenanigans or whatever with martial arts, but the RuneWorld itself, like the remaining stats on there are not that bad. So could even use this. Yeah, Fury, that's what I was using, and Feral Claws. Feral Claws have the highest top end damage, by the way, but they are the slowest. Yeah, some rare. Most of these rare claws I found with my Barb in Trev. I think it's called Fool's Mod when they have max damage and attack rating per level. You could find insane rolls, man. Like, it's next to impossible to get these, but I've seen some with amplified damage on striking, which is crazy for a rare item, or a rare claw with stats like this. You want plus gas, like this one, not too bad either. 200 lightning damage. Yeah, just wanted to share this real quick. Those are like, yeah, all the claws I've been testing and so on with this build. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Feel free to give the video a like. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you played a Whirlwind Assassin? Do you consider playing a Whirlwind Assassin? I might consider playing this next season, not gonna lie. Like, I want to see this build in like a budget setup. Like a really realistic week 1 ladder reset, right? So yeah, thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.